Board Member Garcia.
Present.
Board Clerk Camp.
Present.
Board Member Munoz.
Present.
Board Vice President Lopez.
Here.
President Clifford.
Present.
No, all members are present.
Thank you very much. If we could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and Maya, would you please lead us in that?
Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone, and Happy New Year. This is our first meeting in this new year, January 2026. The next item is adoption of the agenda. Can I have a motion for adoption, please?
So moved.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's it. It moves right on to public comment. I have a few cards here. The first item would be Gary Boyer.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name's Gary Boyer, and I'm here tonight. I'm representing the Frog Committee. Now, some people know what we are, but a lot don't. But FROG stands for the Facilities Restructuring of Glendora. And it was an acronym that was coined by Lois Shade last year before she passed away. She was part of our committee. But we're a group of Glendora residents that have been investigating and debating ideas around the condition of the facilities here in the city of Glendora. After almost a year of working together, we've chosen to give the voters of Glendora an opportunity to decide whether they think something needs to be done about our city facilities by sponsoring a parcel tax measure for the November 2026 ballot. And it will create a funding stream that would be dedicated to replacing or renovating some of the Glendora facilities that are really in bad shape. Facility improvement projects like this are typically paid for by development fees when cities have substantial growth. Well, Glendora's population really hasn't grown much in the last 35 years. In 1990, our population was 47,000. Today it's 50,000. We don't have room for a whole lot of growth. Other cities may also pay for things like this if they're like a travel destination or they have large corporate entities. And the city of Glendora just doesn't have those things. Glendora's not like other cities. So our conclusion was basically, if we want nice things, we're going to have to pay for them. So, which is why we decided to leave it up to the voters. We chose to address this as a citizens committee so that we as residents have control over the language and the implementation of any new tax ordinance. The last 50 years have shown that the city is not capable of doing this, of solving this problem without our help. So we're just here tonight to announce that the Frog Committee is sponsoring an initiative to allow the voters of Glendora to decide if we're going to address this issue now or if we're going to continue to kick the can down the road and pass it on to future generations. You'll see us out and about collecting signatures in order to get qualified for the November ballot, and hopefully we can get some help. Now, let's face it, we all know that the school district facilities are really in need of help as well, and we acknowledge that. We've been following the conversations that the board has been having about what you should do, and we want to make sure that we don't see this as a competition between our two efforts. There's no question as to both entities need to address these issues. We, as the Frog Committee, we understand, and we're just here to let you know that we're supportive of whatever the school district decides to do, whether you do it at the same time that we're doing something, or if you do it at a different date, we will definitely be supportive. So for more information, you can go and visit our website at www.glendora2026.com. And for people in the audience that may not have a clue what I'm talking about, there's some cards on the back table. You can take one, and our website and everything's on there. You can go and find out some more about what we're working on. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Boyer. We appreciate that. Kira, you're up next.
Good evening. My name is Kira Von Lutza. I am a junior at Glendora High School. Thank you for allowing us to have this opportunity to be here tonight and address an issue and concern that has come to our attention in our district. We are here to address a recent situation involving inappropriate AI images that were created by students and of students, and shared amongst others. Multiple students from schools in the district were involved and impacted by this incident. AI is vastly improving, and we are representing students at Glendora High School who are concerned about how this will be handled and what the next steps will be. Not only so that we could deter others from doing this to someone else, but also give the victims and their family reassurance and peace of mind in knowing that their child's situation was not excused and that there was awareness made. My peers and I would like to ask the board a few questions. We appreciate your consideration as conversations surrounding AI and its improvements continue. We were recently informed about Catapult, and we're wondering how resources like this could better be publicized so that more people are aware of this support available and feel safe reaching out if they experience difficult situations like this. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is that Sela Gonzalez?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sayla Gonzalez, and I'm a sophomore at Glendora High School. Today, I'm here to raise concerns about ensuring appropriate consequences for individuals involved in the creation or distribution of explicit or inappropriate AI images. At this time, GUSD students have received only vague communication regarding the use of AI images and the consequences of these actions. My concern is, will students be formally educated on the consequences, including the examples of from real public cases, so that students may see just how AI has affected these poor students who have fallen victim to this? Additionally, will this education be extended to potential perpetrators, victims, parents, or members of the local community? Thank you for helping us protect our students, and I really just hope that I reach out to the board to understand that this is a very serious matter. It is real, it is happening, and it is happening quickly. We'd like to have your help as soon as possible, and we as the students would love to help you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Emily?
Good evening, board members. My name is Emily Flamino, and I'm a junior at Glendora High School. I'm here to highlight the inappropriate AI images that have been passed around throughout the schools in our district. As troubling as these situations are from an outside perspective, we must place ourselves in the lives of the victims of these extremely invasive situations. As of now, there are no ground rules for expulsions in the Glendora Unified School District program for creating, sending, or being in possession of inappropriate and explicit images of students. I would like to ask, how does our district plan on bringing closure to the victims and their families who have all been seriously affected, and will the Glendora Unified School District address this type of AI use? And do you foresee expulsion being in the cards for the perpetrators? Thank you for considering this.
Thank you. Is that Dia?
Hello and good evening. My name is Dia Chetty, and I'm a sophomore at Glendora High School. Thank you again for allowing us to speak about our concerns. As we head into this new era of AI, we need to recognize how it can negatively affect the lives of students. It is crucial that we recognize the issues that bring potential harm to our society, such as this. Not only do we need to be ready to face the issues that AI brings to the students, but we need to look ahead at what can be next, so we aren't just reacting to the next AI leap, but instead taking steps to be proactive. We look forward to hearing what steps the board will take in terms of protecting the students of Glendora. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That concludes my speaker cards, and we'll address that topic during our comments. So I close public comment and come back to the agenda. And the next item is a student board member report.
Good evening, board members and audience. Happy New Year. Today I'm going to be giving reports on Cullen, Stanton, Sutherland, Sandburg, and GHS. Cullen has been hopping back into the school groove since winter break, and it's been a busy and fun start to the year. We kick things off with our Cullen Community Friday, where we celebrated students who showed empathy throughout the month. Now we're shifting our spotlight to perseverance, what it means to keep going even when things get tough, and how we can all practice not to give up. Our classrooms have been learning in exciting ways too. Second grade took an on-site field trip to explore the water cycle in action. Fifth grade traveled to the Nixon Library for a day of history and discovery. And later this week, first grade will blast off to the Mount Sac Planetarium. We also had a fantastic community night thanks to the PTA. Bingo night was a big hit with a great turnout of students and families enjoying games, laughs, and lots of fun. As we look ahead to February, we're excited for everything coming up, especially open house on February 12th. We can't wait to welcome families on campus and share all the great learning happening at Cullen. Next is Stanton. Stanton has been filled with energy and meaningful experiences for our students and families. Our PTA recently recognized the success of the Glow Dance fundraiser by rewarding classrooms that met their goals with a popcorn celebration where students enjoyed filling their bowls with treats like M&Ms, marshmallows, gummy worms, and more as a thank you for their effort, collaboration, and school pride. Our fifth grade students also took part in an enriching field trip to the Fairplex in Pomona, exploring the farm, meeting animals, and gaining hands-on insight into agriculture and food production. Coming up, fifth grade families are invited to join us for an engineering night that will challenge students to think creatively, work together, and apply problem-solving skills through engaging STEM activities. We will also be hosting a Stanton family game night, bringing families together for an evening of loteria, laughter, and connection, with the added bonus of enjoying a slice of pizza while celebrating culture and strengthening our school community. Next is Sutherland. Sutherland is off to an exciting and strong start to the second half of our school year, with lots of fun, learning, and community events happening at our school. Our PTA kicked things off with Donuts with Grown-Ups, where over 250 students and family members came to school early to enjoy donuts, juice, and time together. Families also gathered for a family dine-out night at Raising Cane's, turning dinner into another fun way to support our school. We also launched our parent book club, where we gathered together and began reading The Anxious Generation and shared thoughtful ideas and reflections. Students were amazed during a PTA-hosted magic show assembly, where they didn't just watch the tricks, they joined in and learned how to help keep our campus kind and bully-free. Talent show tryouts also began this week, and students are buzzing with excitement as they prepare to share their creativity and skills. To top it all off, our second graders traveled through space during an on-site Discovery Cube planetarium experience, exploring the solar system right from the cafeteria. Sandburg. We are excited about starting a new year and a brand new semester. Here are a few of the great things happening on the Spartan campus. We held our Nakamura family meeting on the 14th and have 12 students confirmed for our trip to Japan in July. We are excited to visit our friends in Mocha City. We celebrated our amazing scholars at our student recognition luncheon on January 15th. Students were recognized for exemplifying Spartan pride, for high academic achievement, and for overcoming obstacles to demonstrate progress. Our counselors are busy meeting with students to set goals for improvements for third quarter, and eighth graders met with our assistant principal, Ms. Helgesand, to review expectations for staying on track and for end-of-the-year activities eligibility. Our goal is for 100% of our students to meet eligibility requirements for finishing strong. And lastly, Glendora High School. Happy holidays from all of us at GHS to our school board and community as we settle back into the new semester. On Friday, our band and pageantry program shined at Bandorama at Citrus College with an outstanding performance. Friday night also marked our most recent home basketball game with incredible energy and support from our spectators and Dog Pound student section. Our girls soccer team is currently first in league, a huge accomplishment. Congratulations to the team and coaches, and keep up the good work. Our annual GHS skate night is tomorrow evening, and we're excited to skate the night away. Next week, on February 6th, we will host our first ever winter formal snowball dance. We will also be holding a school assembly featuring our spring sports and the reveal of this year's action theme. Thank you.
Outstanding job, Maya. I see politics in your future. I can just see it. You did such a good job with that. All right, we will move on to comments from the members of the Board of Education. If I may, I'll start on my left with Trustee Garcia.
Thank you, and Happy New Year. I know it's kind of weird because it's the end of the month, but it's our first meeting of the year for us. I really do think we need 2 meetings in January. There's a lot to cover. I want to thank our students that showed up today to speak up. I think it is your voice that is the loudest and most important when it comes to really enacting change in your environment. So thank you for speaking up. I know it's not easy. I still get shaky when I speak on a microphone. So I'm so proud of you for being here. With that said, I agree 100% with you that we need to have policies in place that very explicitly tell us what the consequences are if we violate that policy. So with that said, I would love to get a second from our board to direct staff to create such policy. I don't know what that looks like, but I know that's a process. And so if we could start that process at least, I would love to have a second if that's possible.
I'll second, yeah.
Thank you.
And we'll just direct staff to bring something back at the beginnings of what that policy might look like.
Right, so we can start working on something like that because it is important to have something in the books and something that teachers and principals and administrators can lean on and say, this is we talked about expectation for our district during our closed session. And so we can set the expectation of what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. So thank you for coming in and advocating for yourselves. I appreciate it. And for the sake of time, and that we have other presentations and respect for our time of our principals that are here, I'm going to end my comments there.
Yield your time, that's good. Dr. Kam.
Did you have something to say, Dr. DeGrazia?
I was going to say, we do have a base AI policy that was approved. It talks about responsible and ethical use. So we can look at adding some things and tying some things to that the brave young ladies each described. Thank you for being brave enough to get up there and share your stories with us. We need to hear them.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Absolutely. So to start off, I want to say thank you as well for anybody who came forward. I also want to say thank you to President Clifford. I think at the last meeting, we waived a second reading and said, let's just adopt it and get it going as quickly as possible. And so that was an effort on our behalf to try and get things going for you guys so that we do have something that we can start to add framework to and make a little bit more, what's a better word for us? Robust and more specific. So we really appreciate you letting us know because there's always going to be faults and new things that come up. But thank you, and thank you. So yeah, the new year has started off strong. We had the recognition lunch, and we've done a lot of really fun things. I had an opportunity to go to our 56th Bandorama, which was incredible. I see a musician in the audience right now, and it was a lot of fun to check out. We had a lot of great musicians, a lot of great talent, and a lot of great people that were all coming together, which was just fun to have another opportunity for the community to get together to spend time with one another. And so I hope that we get to keep enjoying many, many more of those. So next year, 57, you know. And hopefully next year won't be on Mr. Munoz and my birthday, so we can all. The second half of the year is upon us, you guys. It's coming quickly, and it will start to move very, very fast. I'm excited about the GHS skate night and the first snowball, but I was thinking in my head, like, those things start coming, and pretty soon you're at the end of February, and then it's the end of the year stuff, and it's prom, and it's all the things. So just a good reminder to finish strong, stay positive, stay focused on the things that you're working on, and make sure that you keep it up, both students, but also our teachers and classified staff. I know that the break hopefully rejuvenated us a little bit, but also we can come back and get things going. We spent some time over the break getting accustomed to and understanding new laws, procedures, best practices, all that stuff. And so you'll be hearing more about that as the years come around, or as the year comes to a close and comes around. But I'm really excited to continue to be working for the city of Glendora and my constituents and all of you. So thank you so much, everybody.
Dr. Kam, thank you. Trustee Lopez.
Okay.
Oh, wait, excuse me, we go that way, yeah, I'm sorry. You're right.
Either way.
Yes.
Thank you,
Trustee
President
Munoz.
Clifford. Just keep it brief. First off, I want to wish everyone a happy new year. I know it's been about 7 weeks since we've been back. So it's kind of late in the game, but also want to say to the girls for your bravery coming up here and speaking up. There's nothing like adjusting to new times, new technology, and so you're absolutely right. AI is a positive, but can also be a negative thing and impact in people's lives. So we'll be working with the board and the executive cabinet about implementing new policies regarding that, because safety is number one. As far as this start of this new year, I wish all the principals of all the schools happy new year and a good start. Like board member clerk said, we we have to finish strong in the second half. We have to keep academics number one, support our students, and also be involved as much as possible, and be there for the kids. So just want to put that out there, but that's all I have for today.
Thank you. Now,
Yeah.
Trustee Lopez.
No, I will say, yeah, we are in the second half of school, and we do have to keep the focus on academics. But you know what, you're still students, you're still high school students, you still gotta have fun when you go to school, right? You gotta have fun, because being a principal, there's not a school I've ever been a principal of that I didn't have fun. I have to have fun every day, or I can't deal with my job, right? So, you gotta have fun. Thank you for the student voice tonight, and, about AI, and there are ed codes that will govern that, we'll make it fit. As far as expulsion codes with 48.915, we can make it fit. We just gotta make sure we follow the process, right? Because our job is to keep our campuses safe and to protect students. And, guaranteed that we will do that, 100%. We cannot let that go. And we're in a new age, so it will evolve and it'll change as we move along. So we've gotta be able to evolve and change, no matter how old we are, Trustee Clifford, we have to all evolve and change as we move along. So we have to continue to learn along with the students. So I haven't been in Glendora much. I've been with my job out in Fountain Valley. So, but I know that Bandorama had to be awesome because I used to be the MC of Bandorama, and it's so much fun to watch our kids and just what great musicians we have in our district. So I'm sure it went well and it was a lot of fun. So just unfortunately, I didn't get to attend this year. So that's all my comments.
Thank you. First off, Linda and I wish everyone here a happy New Year's. And again, I'm still saying it because there's still people that I'm meeting for the first time in the year. So we wanted to say that. Bandorama was awesome. Had a front row seat. I'm not only impressed with the jazz band and the wind section and all those things, but you can do it while that stage is going up and down. I don't know how my wife got vertigo in the front seat just watching the stage go up and down, but what a bunch of talented individuals from the, Mr. Quintanilla, is that from the leadership all the way down to Preston, one of the leaders, was one of my neighbors as he was growing up, and we lived in a cul-de-sac in Glendora, and he was the drum major walking up and down the street. So my kids would sit on the curb and watch Preston Shepherd do his thing in the street, and now I see him directing the same students. It's just, Glendora is a special place, that how it all comes back around. And Preston's father did the same thing, and it's kind of a family legacy, and you know a lot about that too. So Bandorama was really special, and you were there in spirit. Don't worry about that. But it looked like it was a full house too. When I looked at the audience, it looked like every seat was taken. To the high school students that showed up tonight, that takes courage and power. We listened to what you said, and as Dr. Kayam said, we took some action on that originally. And I teach at the college level, and AI is a big deal there too. There's a lot of positive things that happen as a result of AI, as you know. It makes you better academically. It makes me a much better professor than I was before. But there has to be some guidelines with it, and we have to make sure that nobody's threatened by it. And I think this board takes it serious. So it was really appropriate for you to come tonight. Thank you, number one, for filling out the speaker cards properly. That's like half the battle. And coming here and speaking so eloquently, and none of you seem nervous, and that's what this is all about. So I really appreciate that. Maya, you talked about a dance. I remember, just because I am old, this is my 50th reunion year, so my high school is planning their 50th reunion, and I remember they're going to have a dance just like those first dances, and so cherish those times, because it's going to go by just like that. And as you were talking about that winter dance, I was just recalling the winter dances of 50 years ago. Music was a little different, but the intent and the fun was still there, so enjoy that. As we were talking about the high school a little bit too, there's a lot of things to celebrate from the academics. If you've been paying attention in our district, are all moving in the right direction. Thank you, Dr. Najarro, for that compelling report. We're going to hear some more tonight. But from academics to sports to the aviation program, I don't know if everybody here heard, but we had our first student pilot get certified through our aviation program. I believe he's a junior and already has a pilot ticket. I've had one for over 40 years, and they're not easy to get. But one of our high school students received that in our aviation program, which the last time I checked, the seats were filled in that too. So that's just evidentiary value of our CTE, I guess, is that what the acronym is for the continuing education like that? And that's really a good thing. To the students and Maya, this Friday is the city's teen summit. Is that correct? At the middle school summit. They call it the teen summit though. It's still the teen summit. So I think that some of those AI topics and some of those things are gonna come up. So you high school students pay attention to that for the middle school students, and it's going to be an opportunity. I believe some of us are gonna be there to interact with the students and talk about those kinds of topics that are relevant in the community. So it'll be the city, the school district, and the students all together in kind of a level playing field, talking about that. And just real quick, Sutherland, if people don't know that, is actually in the city of San Dimas, and staff and the principal and the superintendent met with the LA County Sheriff's Department to talk about the safety of Sutherland School. All of our schools have SROs from Glendora PD. Sutherland's covered by the LA County Sheriff's Department. And sometimes when Sutherland calls 911, people get confused. They think that Glendora PD, who does respond very many times there, but it's really the Sheriff's Department. And they have a new sheriff, they have a new captain there, Captain Moen, who's a really good guy. I think he's a Glendora High School graduate. So he's very interested in making sure that when Sutherland calls the police department, one of those sheriff cars are there right away. And then Glendora could come and help if they want. But they had a really good meeting about that. And then the last thing is that there's been some new recycling laws in the state. I know everybody here knows that. So a lot of the commercial businesses are gonna start getting blue barrels. A lot of the schools now will start getting some blue barrels, and recycling teams will be going out to the schools. But our schools are already in the 67th percentile, meaning almost 70% of what the schools throw out are avoided from a landfill, and they get reused and repurposed, which is a great thing. That number is only gonna go up more. So pretty soon at the schools, you'll see a blue container also, because now you have green, where all the grass and food go in, right? You have the trash, which should be getting smaller, and now the blue is gonna get started with some things. So we're gonna try to even increase that more based on some of the recycling laws. So lots of good things are happening in the district. We appreciate you listening to us talk. And if there's no questions or further comments, we'll move to the most important superintendent report.
Thank you so much, Mr. Clifford, members of the board, distinguished guests. Happy New Year to all. We are still saying that. We're a month in. Oh my goodness. But we're there, and second semester is off to a very strong start. Thank you for the students and staff for making that happen. We're going to hear our first two school reports tonight. I see many professionals from Goddard Middle School and Cullen Elementary School out there. We're also going to hear tonight from Glendora High School about their handbook changes for the coming year, 26-27. That sounds scary to say in itself. We should commend also the GHS counseling team. They are ranked 9th statewide for students completing the FAFSA. And if you've read anything about the financial aid forms and how hard they're to fill out, that's an amazing feat in and of itself. So 9th in the state for their size school, amazing work. There are also 3 items on the agenda tonight for the GHS pool refurbishment and renovation project. So that is moving forward. Construction is set to begin sometime in the next month, in February. In Bandorama, you heard a little bit about it. The day after Bandorama, I received a picture and a text from Mrs. Linda Bergsland. And she graduated in the year 1976, Mr. Clifford. And that was her graduation year 50 years ago. And in this picture, and these are her words because I couldn't say this any better myself if I really wanted to. This picture describes some of that. And it shows the class of 76, meaning girls from the class of 2026, after the event. Mrs. Bergsland's 30th involvement with the event as a teacher or coordinator. She's been retired 2 years. She still supports this event and assists with these young ladies. And look at that, how many members of her 76 class showed up. She said this: "This picture is priceless and really needs no words. The class of 76 meets the class of 2026. Someone asked me who we do Bandorama for. My answer was clear last night in that picture. We do it for the community. We do it for parents. Most of all, we do it for kids. We do it for kids so 50 years from now, they will have the same friends, memories, and traditions they had last night. It's the plaid, it's the traditions, it's a family, it's Glendora, like no place else." End quote. Thank you, Mrs. Bergslin, for your 50 years of dedication. They performed a number, Mary Poppins, that she performed as a student many, many years ago with that group. She reimagined it, and it came out beautifully. So thanks to her, thanks for Mr. Quintanilla, the director of the bands. Outstanding event in and of itself, Bandorama. Just wanted to share that picture and that quote. It's very meaningful. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. It was a very special night indeed. Any questions for the superintendent? Item 4.4 is a recognition resolution 25-26-09, school board recognition for the
Yes.
month of January, presented by Dr. DeGrazia.
Thank you again. It's my honor to present this recognition to the school board. Turn the tables for once. And I wanted to read two of the, there's a nice gift in there, certainly in a card that goes with it. Just a couple of the whereases, but whereas citizen oversight of local government is the cornerstone of democracy in the United States, school board members are locally elected public officials entrusted with governing a community's public schools. The role of the school board is to ensure that school districts are responsible for the values, beliefs, and priorities of their communities, including their 5 major responsibilities detailed in the second section: setting direction, establishing an effective and efficient structure, providing support, ensuring accountability, providing community leadership as advocates for children in the school district and public schools. Therefore, I, Dominic DeGrazia, hereby declare my appreciation for the members of the Glendora Board School District, our Board of Education, and proclaim the month of January 2026 as School Board Recognition Month. Join me in recognizing them. Congratulations. Thank you for your service. There's not a whole lot of people that sign up for this. It's tough work. That's why. It's tough work. We thank them for being our lead leaders, and we thank them for the daily work in and around the district, attending events and supporting students and staff. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nobody will argue with you about that, at least tonight here. The next item we've been waiting for is 5.1, the Cullen Elementary presentation by the one and only Miss Wendy Farinato. Anybody you want to introduce tonight, ma'am?
I have a number of staff here with me. A couple of my kindergarten teachers, 3rd grade teacher, Miss Lance, reading intervention teacher, and my school counselor, all of which play a very valuable part to my team. Thank you for letting me come tonight and talk to you about Cullen and the amazing place that it is. I will try not to go super fast, but also not take too long. Last year, when I came and spoke to you, my goal was to really try to incorporate Character Strong more thoroughly across our campus. And some of the ways we did that was through our community celebrations. The picture that you see here are some of our students receiving a monthly character award. We started our Cullen Community Fridays last year, I think was our first year. And this year we have added student recognition. So every month teachers nominate a few students from their class and we call them forward with all the parents there to see in order to recognize their growth in that specific character trait. It's been really fun, and the parents come a lot more consistently when they think their kids might be getting an award. Our data from last year remains very much consistent. In English and language arts, you can see from 24 to 25 very, very slight changes there. And in math, we continue to make very slight growth as well, which we're excited to see. We maintained an ELA and some incremental growth there in math, so we're excited about that. Attendance has decreased again. We were at 9% last year, at 7% this year. We're going to continue the same strategies that we have been using. We use monthly recognition for students who have perfect attendance. Our attendance clerk has started purchasing small little trinkets that parents love to get to go out during lunchtime and recognize students whose attendance has improved. So not those students that get 100%, but maybe the ones who were often tardy and they've gotten better. And she goes out and she gives them a pencil that says improving or little things like that. And they love to be recognized by her personally. It's been super fun for her. Additionally, they still get letters and calls from Everyday Labs. They're not as fond of that, but they do still go out. Our suspension rate has increased somewhat. Again, we are an elementary school. So we're really looking at trying to address behaviors as opportunities for us to teach students how to behave. So when they are 4 and 5 years old, we're teaching them how to be good people, how to use appropriate language, how to keep their hands to themselves, how not to bite people, little things like that. And then as they get older, the consequences grow. So we try to use progressive discipline. And as they kind of move through those things, then we do occasionally have to suspend students, specifically whenever they are dangerous to themselves or others, and we feel we need to remove them for the day for their safety. This one is very, very tiny. I think you have a copy of it in front of you. Yes, I didn't even try. I had to zoom it in when I was doing this one. Even the bigger copy is still too small for me. Yes. But you can see that there has been some incremental growth. There are small arrows that are either going up or down, which obviously tell you that we are going up or down in those areas. But when looking at the overall student performance for this year, 77% of our students improved their scores in both math and ELA, which is pretty good. 80% of our English learners improved, and 78% of our students in the subgroup socioeconomically disadvantaged and students with disabilities improved. And those were our lowest groups last year. So we're excited, even if they're still not in green or blue, they have improved. So we're very excited about that growth. Ways that I work to support Cullen, I really try to be very visible on campus. If there is recess and lunch, I am often out at recess and lunch. I find that students remember the rules better when they see me than when they don't. The noon duties do a fabulous job, but for whatever reason, they remember all the rules when Ms. Farinato is standing near them. So I try to be out there as often as possible. It prevents more visits to my office. I try to be in the classrooms often. If I know a teacher has a particularly challenging student or day, I try to show up in that classroom anytime I'm needed, even when I'm not, just to try to give support for those teachers. Also trying to give teachers resources and tools to help build their stamina and their resources to be able to handle behaviors as they continue to have those same issues in their classrooms. Academically, also providing professional development for teachers in that area. A lot of that looks like them being able to work together. We started instructional rounds last year where the teachers were able to go around and see teachers in other grade levels teach, and so that was really interesting for them to have the perspective of a 5th grade teacher going into a TK classroom and thinking, this is wild, and they're not wrong. It is wild in TK. And same for 1st grade teacher to go into a 4th grade classroom and see the progression of what that looks like and the differences and being able to learn from each other. Creating time for them to be able to collaborate and plan together. I go in and observe the teachers, both formally and informally, and try to give them feedback whenever I feel like it is needed, whether it's to improve or to encourage, but I try to do that consistently throughout the years. Additionally, supporting our IST process by attending those meetings and providing feedback for the teachers and how they can support their students, and working to get those resources in their hands as soon as possible. Supporting our students, we have our Learning Center where our math and reading intervention teachers both are providing supports for students who are on the cusp. Ms. Bayless is here tonight. She does a fabulous job with supporting our students, both in the classroom and in her classroom. Both math and reading interventions have aides that are able to pop into classrooms. They call it pushing in, and support teachers with during the lesson for students, particularly in our upper grade levels for math, which has been super beneficial for those students who don't necessarily want to get pulled out of class. They're able to stay and still receive that support. Our wellness room, Ms. Duke-Majan does a fabulous job. Kids love to go to her class. Often it is seen as a reward, and they are able to go and receive emotional support from her. She sees 67 students, but might be more after this meeting, and 9 groups that she sees where they are talking about themes as social skills, empathy, family dynamics, friendship, anxiety, impulsivity, and emotional regulation. Additionally, she sees 17 students individually where they're talking about grief, trauma, and other more personal items that those kids need to talk through. The academy is our intervention room. Sorry, I said that opposite. The Learning Center is RSP, where Ms. Davis provides students their IEP support. So those are goals that they are working towards individually in order to meet specific goals based on their learning disabilities. Student council, we are really excited that we still get to have student council. We've been very fortunate to have Mr. Sabota on our campus. He works along with Ms. Lynn, Ms. Miller, and Ms. Duke-Majan to have a student council, which has about 30 to 35 students that apply each year, 4th and 5th graders. And this year, we gave them the responsibility of cultural celebrations. And one of the parents volunteered to make a dragon to celebrate the Lunar New Year. They brought it on campus today. You are invited. I strongly encourage you to come. It is an amazing dragon. And they'll be doing that at our Cullen Community Friday next week. Supporting staff, we started the year off with some multi-tiered system of support trainings where they all collaborated together, talking about what that might look like within their classrooms within different grade levels. We had ST math training. We've had a math program, digital math program for years, but it has evolved over time. And so I gave the teachers an opportunity to learn how they can utilize that in their classroom more effectively and how they are able to collect data in order to drive their instruction. Again, instructional rounds, we're looking at doing that again this year. We're going to change it up a little bit based on teacher input. And the behavior support. We brought in Kathy Holloman. If you haven't ever heard Kathy speak, she's phenomenal. But she's a behavior guru, and she came in and talked with our teachers about Tier 2 and Tier 3 behavior supports. We also continue to push positive climate with our teachers and building a positive culture with our students, our teachers, through birthday parties and celebrations and staff picnics and staff parties. They love an excuse for a party. Supporting parents and community. This one continues to be a passion of mine, trying to get families on campus and involved in their students' learning. So our PTA is an outstanding resource for that. They also love a party, and they know how to throw a really good one. They have our trunk or treat. They did a holiday stroll, and they did bingo on Friday night. And you would think bingo is for people who maybe graduated 50 years ago, but no. Kids love bingo, and it was packed. There were so many kids playing bingo, and they have about 150 prizes that they purchase and pass out, and the kids are ecstatic to get slinkies and stuffies and all the things. But they have so much fun with that. Our kindergarten and first grade teachers hold homework nights in order to teach those parents how to do homework with their kindergartners and first graders. Some of them have done it before, and some of them have not. So the ins and outs of how to create a space for their students to do homework, those teachers do an amazing job of instructing them on how to do that. We have, I had a school site council come and take a tour of my campus this year. That was way more fun than I thought it would be. It was so much fun that if you would like to come and take a tour, I would be happy to take you on a tour as well. But I walked them into all the classrooms so they were able to see the programs in real time. All the programs that we talk about in our school site council meetings that we purchase or that we fund through site funds or funds from the district, they were able to actually see them in action. And it was so informative for them. They were able to ask questions. I was able to explain things to them. And it just made the meetings feel that much more important. Additionally, our PTA aren't the only ones who throw a good shindig. Our teachers also do a family STEAM night where they have started bringing out the fire department, and we do an egg drop. And this has evolved into quite a few eggs that get dropped on that night. And it started, I think, with 25, and we had almost 100 entries this year. It takes quite a long time, but the kids really like it. One of my focuses this year was to create more inclusive environments. As you know, one of the things that is unique to Cullen is we house the Mod Severe program on our campus, which can make it really challenging to help these students and their families feel like a part of the Cullen family. And talking with some of the families last year at the LCAP meeting, one of them shared that they were disappointed that they didn't get to participate in the family events with their students. It was just too challenging for them. They couldn't handle the noise and the overstimulation. So I asked her, what do you suggest? And she gave me a suggestion. I gave the suggestion to PTA and they ran with it. And for our PTA events this year, they have opened all of our events 30 minutes early for our sensory sensitive students to be able to go and participate. So you'll see the pictures of some of our students at the trunk or treat. That is our speech pathologist with her talker, helping the students be able to trick or treat and say trick or treat by pushing the appropriate button. And they were able to walk through without music, without the overstimulation of all the other students there. We had a magician come out that evening, and while the rest of the students were doing the trunk or treat where the music was loud, they went into the cafeteria, and he gave them a smaller performance where he stood on the floor. They sat in a small circle. There was no music. He didn't use a microphone, and they were able to enjoy that as well. For the holiday stroll, they came in early. They were able to do their crafts with just their parents without there being 150 kids around them. And it's just given them an opportunity to be able to participate in those family events in a very real way. And that's been super fun to be able to do that. Additionally, we have done reverse inclusion for our 3 classrooms. Rather than having them go into a gen ed classroom, we have a classroom of students that go into their classroom to be big buddies. They split the class up and they go in and read to them and participate to their abilities. And that's given them an opportunity to build relationships with those students as well. We are also adding some communication boards to our TK, kinder, and first grade playgrounds. We have 2 classrooms that play on those playgrounds with these students. And so the communication board, this is just a small version, but it will allow them to be able to communicate with each other by pointing to pictures if they want help, if they need to go to the bathroom, if they want to play, things like that, but giving them opportunity to be able to communicate with each other in order to help them feel like they are included in the school as well. Continuing the journey. We are only halfway through this year, but as we continue to look towards the remainder of this year and next year, we're excited about the new math adoption that's coming up, and we're looking to implement that with fidelity through training for our teachers and families if needed, whatever we need to do in order to make sure that that is getting implemented with fidelity across the campus. We're looking to continue opportunities for inclusion with our families and other ways that we can help them feel included, and vertical alignment specifically for writing. So across the grade levels, what does it look like in TK? What does writing look like in kinder, first, second, and moving that across the campus so they're all aligned. With that, thank you so much again. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Principal Farinato. I really appreciate your tenure, your professionalism. Your campus is impeccably clean. I would agree that Miss Duke Majian's class is a class that everyone should visit. She makes me feel good when I go in there, so I know she's right on the mark. And, you know, your campus is busy on the weekends, and Monday morning it looks like it's brand new again. So I think there's a lot to be said about your tenure and time and the way you've connected with your families. I really appreciate that personally. I think your presentation was right on. Continue that momentum moving forward, and I'm pleased to hear what you had to say tonight. So thank you to all the staff that's here. I appreciate you hanging out with us, and that's my story. I'll turn it over to anybody else that has anything to say.
I thank you for your amazing presentation. Sitting here, I'm thinking back 3 years, and as this is the 3rd year that we hear reports from our schools, and a lot of the things that you found as your challenges, a couple years ago, I see that you have found it is your growth now, right? It's something that you've built and something that your parents and students are benefiting from today, which is the point of, growing and making sure that we're paying attention to the needs of our students and what our parents are asking for. In particular, what I heard as, a trustee was our parents wanting more inclusion in this way with our students with different abilities. And so I really want to applaud you for what you're doing at Cullen, you and your team, because that is incredible. And also with the help of PTA, because I know they play a big role in that, because it's just 30 minutes earlier, right? With just one little adjustment that makes such a huge difference. So thank you, and thank you PTA for just making those little changes. I wanted to ask you about your parent program, parent education nights, where you said kinder and first grade come in, the parents, to teach them how to help their kids with their
Yes.
homework. I think that's brilliant, and I wish I had had that when I was a parent. But what's the participation rate for that? Do you, and how do you get parents? I mean, I know you provide the opportunity, but how do you get them to just come in? And because I know it's hard for parents, right? They're working,
Right.
it's to add one more thing to their plate. But how do you get them to come in? What does that look like?
I would say we get about half of the kindergarten parents who attend. It's typically the ones who are brand new. They're nervous about their kids going to school. They want to make sure they're doing everything right, so it doesn't take a whole lot of encouragement to get them to come. First grade, it takes a little bit more encouragement. There aren't as many. But giving them an opportunity to come and learn is really what we're trying to do. We can't force them to come,
Right.
but we want to make sure that they have the opportunity to come and learn how to best support their students, especially at those younger grades, when they're building those habits that will take them on to being successful in the higher grades as well.
I love that. And do you see that there's a need for that to be continued in third, fourth, fifth grade? Do you think parents and students would benefit from that?
A need, yes, but I think we run into the participation aspect of it and getting our staff to feel like it's worth it for a smaller group of people to come.
In.
Yeah, so if we could somehow ensure that we're going to get a bigger turnout, then it might be worth it. There are some teachers who do a small version of that at back to school night. So they're able to kind of go over those rules. And since the basics of it have already been laid out during kindergarten and first grade, they're able to just touch on what the expectations will look like for second, third, fourth, and fifth. And the expectations changed classroom to classroom as you get into the higher grades. And in kindergarten and first grade, they're pretty cohesive. It's the same expectation for every classroom, so it works for them to do it all together like that.
Wonderful. And finally, question I asked last year. What can we as your board do to further support all the amazing things you're doing at Cullen?
Continue what you're doing, but we would love to see
Just
you
the
and
same.
come and see our dragon. I'm so excited for the dragon.
I will personally, I want to see this dragon, so I will be there.
I will
Thank you for
video
the
it in case you
invitation. I
can't make
appreciate that.
I'll just take a few moments. Mrs. Ferranato, you've hit your stride in such an incredible way at that school with such an amazing staff. I'm fortunate enough to represent some of your students, and it's funny, I check in, I have kids that are in elementary school, and so as we're out and about and as we're doing things at baseball and soccer and all kinds of stuff, not a once, I can say with all honesty, not a once have I ever heard a single parent have criticisms of your site. It's universally loved by the parents that I've spoken to, the students that attend. I have to say that I've never felt so warm and welcome at a school as, I've been invited to read to students. I've been invited to judge Christmas doors, I think is what it was. I've had so much fun at your school, and I really appreciate it. We lived close by, and we're getting ready to go in the house. Unfortunately, didn't meet our needs. I've been screaming from the rooftops. The people who bought our house moved from Orange County, and they said we wanted our kids to go to Cullen. It was either here or we were moving to Monrovia. And so not only should you be really proud of your school in this district, which we're so proud of, your site, but the things you're doing have transcended our county lines, which is so cool. So keep up the great work. Thank you so much. And if there's anything you need, please. But I really appreciate the invitation. I'll take you up on it if you don't mind. So thank you.
Yes.
Just briefly, I want to thank you for your presentation. Just love your proactive steps that you're doing with the staff, with the students. Amazing presentation, and I want to take you up on your offer. I want to go visit your school. I feel like I need to see it.
Yes, we would love that.
Thank you.
Amazing your math scores are higher than the ELA scores, right? That doesn't exist. So the one question that I have is 77% of the students improved, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did you do?
I have good teachers.
That's a hard, I know it's a hard question sometimes.
I didn't do anything.
I know, what did you guys do collectively as a school? Because that's a lot of improvement. That's a lot of kids moving up.
It is.
Which
They
is
continue
amazing,
to
right?
continue to challenge their students. Their expectations have not lowered, and they are pushing them to continue to do well through positive reinforcement and giving them goals to shoot for. Our students continue to excel. Yeah.
Well, good. Well, that's the only question I have.
Well, thank you very much. You guys can walk out of here proud tonight. We appreciate it. All right, one down, one to go. We have the Goddard Middle School presentation by Principal Zernikow and Assistant Principal Kristen Martinez. Both are in the house. Is there anyone else you want to introduce tonight? Yeah, I hear it. I hear it.
Well, it looks like we have Mrs. Kemp and we have Mrs. Lips in here. So fantastic.
Very nice. Very,
That's a mass exodus, right?
yeah,
Must have
very
been my
nice.
cologne.
Go right ahead, sir.
All right. Good evening, esteemed school board members, Dr. Grazia, cabinet, colleagues, parents, and community members. It is truly an honor to stand before you as the principal of Goddard Middle School, a California Distinguished School and a Gold Ribbon School. We have a lot to be proud of. At Goddard, we believe in holding students to high expectations academically, socially, behaviorally, while we ensure they feel supported every step of the way. Our goal is to develop confident, capable learners who leave us prepared for high school, college, careers, and life. Thank you for the opportunity to share the Goddard story. This evening, I am excited to represent our students, staff, and families as we reflect on who we are, how we are growing, and where we're headed together. I'm also joined by our awesome teammate and assistant principal, Kristen Martinez, whose fierce care for our students and family and commitment to staff is demonstrated daily. Her leadership strengthens our culture and supports our continued growth. Last year, our goal was straightforward but intentional. Continue making progress across each key academic and state accountability metric. We focus on maintaining momentum while strengthening instructional consistency and student supports. As a result of those efforts, Goddard either improved or maintained performance across all 4 measured state indicators: chronic absenteeism, suspension, English language arts, and mathematics. This confirms that our strategies are working and our school is moving in the right direction academically and culturally. To put this in perspective, our long-term vision is ambitious and very clear. Over the next 5 years, we aim to have 70% of our students meeting or exceeding standards in English language arts, mathematics, and science. While we are not there yet, last year's results demonstrate that we are steady, focused, and improvement is achievable. Each year brings us closer to our goal, and our continued commitment to effective instruction, collaboration, and target support will be critical as we support students on this journey. Academically, Goddard continues to make steady progress across all subject areas. English language arts, 67.5% of students met or exceeded standards, reflecting continued growth. Additionally, we have 20% of students who are approaching the standard, presenting a clear opportunity for us to accelerate their progress by intentionally supporting this group. In mathematics, 63.1% of students met or exceeded standards, representing a 3% increase from last year. We're especially encouraged by the 19% of students who are nearly meeting this standard. Evidence that our targeted efforts are moving students closer to being proficient. Consistency in instruction and support is key as we continue the momentum. Accelerated growth in mathematics highlights the effectiveness of our instructional strategies. including common informative assessments, staff collaboration, and targeted interventions. In science, not pictured here, our overall performance is rated green. As a side note, we also have 50% of students near proficient, so we're going to move a huge group over next year. And this represents a significant opportunity for us to move that large portion the coming year. While we support these positive trends, we recognize continued improvement requires sustained focus, strategic support, and ongoing collaboration between our teachers and staff. Now up, our assistant principal is going to talk about student engagement.
Our student engagement data tells an encouraging story. We earned green ratings across most engagement indicators. Our chronic absenteeism improved again, dropping to 7.4%, which reflects stronger student connections and consistent follow-up with our families. Suspension rates remain an area for continued growth, particularly for certain student groups, but overall, this data shows that students feel connected, present, and engaged on our campus. Engagement matters because when students are in class and feel connected, then learning follows. This data helps us celebrate progress while also identifying where to refine supports and interventions.
Subgroup data. Now, I put up a different chart than you guys have because I think this is visually easy to see. This is one of my favorite charts, not because it easily shows our subgroups, but because it's really honest. It shows exactly where we need to focus our efforts. We see achievement gaps in the following groups in a variety of areas: socially, economically disadvantaged students, students with disabilities, Hispanic or Latino students, and English learners. This data gives us fuel to better serve these student groups with targeted intervention, instruction, support, and systems. Let's look a little bit more at our subgroups. English learners, yellow rating in ELA, 0.7 points of growth, still 29.8 points below standard. And orange in math, maintained at 0.7 points, but remains at 28.8 below standard. We did make progress, though, in the summative LPAC, which showed 48 are making progress, up from 34%. But there's still need for continued language development support by using school-wide average strategies that we do, and by implementing our newly adopted EL coursework that will help our English learners. We are also happy to report we reclassified 5 English learners last year, up from 1 the year before. Socially economically disadvantaged students, red in chronic absenteeism, an increase of 4%. Yellow in ELA, declined 7.5%, but still 2.6 above standard, and math. Green in suspensions, continued work needs to be done in math and ELA, but that would be helped by improving their chronic absenteeism. We all know when our students are in their chairs listening to teachers, their achievement will go up. Students with disabilities, orange in suspension rate, increased to 3.2, ELA minus 22 points, 64.6 points below standard. Math declined 22 points and is at 86.5 points below standard. We are yellow in chronic absenteeism, but chronic absenteeism actually improved for this group, 2.2, but is still very high. With Hispanic students, yellow in ELA, we lost 2.8 points, but 9.8 points above standard, and mathematics declined 5.6 points and is 14 points from standard. Hispanic students received orange in chronic absenteeism, maintaining at minus 0.3%, and suspension rate increased 0.8%. Overall, we are seeing positive signs. English learners demonstrated increased progress in the summative LPAC, with higher percentage making gains and those five students reclassifying last year. We had 18 subgroups of the score scored green or blue to just only 8 with red or orange. Several subgroups improved in suspension rates, reflecting strong behavioral supports and staff consistency. This data continues to guide us as it reinforces our focus on strong Tier 1 instruction, targeted Tier 2 interventions, and continued language development strategies, including school-wide AVID and the newly adopted EL curriculum, plus reinforcing our focus on literacy for all our students. For the principal, it's my role to set the tone. It's my role to ensure clarity, consistency, and accountability, but culture is what sustains progress. Our culture is defined by the Goddard Way. The Goddard Way is built on 4 core commitments: Number one, high expectations in everything we do. Kids want to meet our expectations. They want to please us. So set the bar high. Kids will achieve it. If you don't set the bar high, they will not achieve remarkable results. Treat others with kindness, no matter what. We can all have disagreements, but we should always treat each other with kindness. Do the right thing, even when nobody's watching. This speaks to character. Be courageous. And it added for the first time this semester is, and this is brand new for us, don't quit. No matter what, America has shifted in the last few years. How can we make our Goddard Titans different from the rest of America? By giving them the power and the will and the desire to never quit on anything. That will make our kids better and very uncommon. This is more than a theme. It's how we teach, lead, and interact every day. It shapes students' behavior, staff collaboration, and decision-making across our campus. What I'm most proud of is the Goddard Way is really believed in. Not just by administrators, not just by the teachers, staff, but the teachers, staff, and students, families in our communities all believe in it. They bring it back to us, even at the supermarket. Now up, our assistant principal, Kristen Martinez, for supporting students.
These photos that you see represent the heart of our work, our students. We support students through our relationships, engagement, intervention, enrichment, and high expectations. Every decision that we make is grounded in what is best for kids. We create spaces where students feel connected and valued through our 15 clubs on campus and many extracurricular activities, which allow students to explore their interests, build confidence, and develop leadership skills. Each year, one of the most exciting days on our campus is our Club Rush, when our campus comes alive with students showcasing clubs that reflect their passions and the needs of our ever-changing student population. We intentionally encourage students to create new clubs each year, giving them ownership and voice in shaping our campus culture. Last year, for example, a group of students started a Taylor Swift club for a love of shared music. This year, as our population changes, that club is no longer active on our campus. However, an example of a new club that we have is a robotics club. This club utilizes our STEAM lab and the resources in there, and they build, design, and problem solve each week. Club Rush gives us a snapshot of who our students are on our campus. It shows how we listen to their voices, honor their interests, and provide opportunities that are relevant, engaging, and meaningful to them. Another example of how we build connections at Goddard is our web program. This unique program further fosters belonging and a smooth transition to middle school by connecting our 6th grade students with I went too over. Oh no. It's okay. It does it with our 8th grade peer mentors. And so they help our 6th graders transition throughout the school year. Also, did I skip one? I messed up your flow. I'm sorry, Mr. Z.
That's okay.
It's when you bring in somebody else, they just mess up the whole system. Here's your second page. Also, another thing that we have is our ASB. So our ASB, it works in partnership with our PTA, and they plan and they're hosting our monthly cultural celebrations. And this is giving them ownership and a voice and honoring the diverse backgrounds and traditions that we have in our community. Together, all of these efforts ensure that each student feels seen, supported, and inspired to succeed at Goddard.
All right, our staff is exceptional, best of the best. These images captures educators who are committed to reflective and are deeply invested in our students. Supporting our staff through collaboration, professional learning, and trust is essential to moving the school forward. They are the best of Goddard. Case in point, we have Kelly Holland, 6th grade math teacher, who runs our Math Buddies program. It's a program that pairs up 6th grade students who might be struggling in math with some really strong 8th grade students. They come in 2 days a week before school, and they get that extra math support. Now, it's amazing for a couple of reasons. A, our 6th graders are getting much needed support, but think about what it does for our 8th graders. you have to go and reteach something to somebody else. Now, it's easy to learn something once, right? But it's a whole nother ball game when you have to teach somebody else. And so that's amazing when you're able to have peer mentoring going on your campus. And Kelly Holland is the author of all that, and that's amazing. Families and community partnerships. Goddard thrives on the strength of our families and community partners. Over the past 3 years, our GEF Giving Tuesday campaign has raised $60,000. Tens of thousands of more have been raised through the Turkey Trot and the Color Run. One exciting example of that support is what's going to be Robert H. Goddard Day. It's going to be on March 5th. Thanks to the Glendora Ed Foundation, every student will pair it with another student, and they will receive a free rocket kit. They will take it home. They will build it together, collaboratively, and work on it, finish it, and then on that following Thursday, after school, we will collect as a school by grades and launch those rockets into the air and make it happen. There's going to be a lot of fun things that go on with this, but events like this build more than just academic skills. They strengthen our community, they spark curiosity, and make learning memorable. Think about what we're going to be going into. We're going to be visiting the moon here in the next couple weeks. How can we as teachers and leaders at Goddard piggy bank on the memory of Robert H. Goddard and have those kids be able to dream big and maybe become one of the next NASA or SpaceX scientists? And for my principal choice, this slide is informational data, but it also tells an encouraging story. It gives us validation to keep our foot on the gas and keep going. Our science performance is in the green, but as I mentioned earlier, that we have a 50% gift coming this year that we're going to target and move those kids over to being proficient. So we're excited by that. Now, when I was looking at the ELA growth, I wasn't too fired up by being average. Average is hard for me. But overall, I looked at the numbers. 63.4% of our students improved from last year. That's pretty good. 64.1% associated economically disadvantaged students improved. That's really good. 58.3% of students with disabilities improved. So maybe average is okay there, but I want to see more. Math growth is accelerated. I like that. 70.3% of all students improved. We had 0 students not improve. Accelerated math growth is something we're especially proud of and will continue to build upon. Next steps. Our focus is intentional and clear. Literacy still will remain our focus. Every kid needs to read and write and communicate daily. Even in PE class, writing in journals, goal setting lessons, those are currently being implemented this year. Our speech and communication class for 6th grade has already made meaningful impacts, building confidence, critical thinking, and real world communication skills that set Goddard Titans apart. Our academic goal is realistic and focused, reaching 70% in ELA, math, and science in the next 5 years, and continue building from there. We know this is a marathon, not a sprint. Success depends on our sustained Tier 1 instruction, targeted Tier 2 supports, and strong relationships. Motivation is always a focus, especially with our 8th graders. That starts with relationships. When students know adults care, they will rise and meet your high expectations. Thank you. Thank you for your time, your support, and your belief in our students. By building and addressing the strengths and challenges with intention, we are confident Goddard Middle School will continue to grow, improve, and shine in every place the students are supported through this journey. This is the way. Have a great Glendora night, and we're happy to take any questions.
Mr. Z, I promoted you already. I'm excited that you guys are excited. I mean, it's infectious, and your team tonight and your staff that are here, you guys are just knocking it out of the park. I don't have any questions. I experience what you're doing. I feel it when I walk by the campus, walk in the campus. You can just feel the energy. You're the right choice for that place. You guys are at the right time everything's hitting on all cylinders. I am so impressed with the growth. See, because the school board gets to take credit for that, you know, so, you know, it's just incredible. So I just want to say thank you for your presentation, turn it over to the rest of the board, and Assistant Principal Martinez, tell the coach I said good evening and thanks for coming out tonight.
I appreciate the two of you so much, and I appreciate your sight. I think President Clifford had it spot on. You feel it. You walk on campus, and I don't believe that there's anything that happens on your campus that the two of you don't already know about. A shared sense of responsibility, the Goddard Way, and all of your teachers working in what feels like an amazing orchestra of unison together to make sure our students are successful is so appreciated and so felt. So keep up the great work, and I really look forward to all the things you're on the cusp of really accomplishing in a great way. That cohesive piece of the culture takes time to create, but with that culture creation comes all of the benefits and rewards, and you guys are, I feel like, right on the cusp of it, and I appreciate it because it's very evident the groundwork you've all been laying for years. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zernickel and Mrs. Martinez, for your presentation. I appreciate your energy, your excitement for what's happening at Goddard and for the things you want to accomplish at Goddard, 100%. And thank you for setting those high expectations, not only of your students, but of yourselves and your staff, because this 70-70-70 in the next 5 years is a lofty goal, which I know you will meet. But I also want to ask you, do you have what you need? Do you have the support that you need from your district to achieve that goal?
Just keep saying yes.
See, I always put you guys on, this is your opportunity to say, like, you know what, this would be really nice. I'm not gonna say it's gonna happen, but
keep saying yes.
Okay, well, it's important. And if you think of anything, feel free to email me. But it is one of those things that I ask because it is important that I appreciate you setting these lofty goals and saying, hey, we're going to do this. But I also think that it is our responsibility to ensure that you have the support that you need, the tools that your teachers have those supports in place to meet these goals. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for failure, right? Because you could want to do all these things, but if you don't have the support, then it's not going to happen. But you're telling me you have everything you need, so that means I'm going to hold you 100% accountable for this.
When they come up, we're gonna ask you, and you're just gonna say yes.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate what Goddard is doing.
Any further comments?
Yes, I just want to say thank you to you both. Passion, I love it. I love it. See your presentation. I see the passion. I can see it in your presentation. So I want to thank both of you for that. Goddard's a great middle school, and you guys are going to be the best. I believe in it, and that 70-70-70, I know you're going to hit it. You're going to hit that goal. So just keep up the good work, and you'll get there. Thank you.
Did you hear the 3 words, Bill?
I did.
Mr. Zernickel, did you hear the 3 words he said? You missed it. You got it. You caught it, right? You've lived that before, right? You've lived that before, so okay. Hey, just quiet. Your kids improved a lot. What did you do? I'm going to ask those questions. What did you do? And you have a 5-year goal. You're going to go 70-70-70. How are you going to get there? Because you got 5 years in this. This kind of relates to what Trustee Garcia was saying, because the how part is where we can help, right? So think about it from that perspective. But you had a lot of improvement. What happened? What did you guys do?
So the key to any kind of improvement is narrowing your focus.
On the microphone. On the mic.
So the key to any kind of improvement, honestly, is narrowing your focus and becoming really good at small things first. Okay? So for us, it's remaining consistent with what we're doing and following through with what we're doing and knowing it inside and out. And that's how you become great.
Okay, good. So then you talked about intentionality. And you don't have to comment on that. I'm not going to ask a question about intentionality because you talked about it, and I know you know it, right? And you got to process, right? You got to go 70-70-70 in 5 years. Just think about how you're going to get there and have that piercing clarity. So if you want to address it, great. Love it.
Well, just one thing. So baby steps, right? So we have fabulous teachers that work collaboratively together, and they are our culture, right? So they set the tone for our culture, and it exceeds everywhere you go, right? It's in the classroom, it's in the hallways, it's everywhere. So we have that established culture. They're leading the clubs, they're doing all of this, so our students have their buy-in. But over the last couple of years, we have intentionally built in new pieces to the puzzle that we didn't have before. So we have our STEAM electives this year, which are supporting us in science and math and AVID, actually. We have our AVID classes that are supporting reading and writing across the curriculum. Our school is AVID school-wide. But can I give my Nancy Druin story?
Sure.
Okay, can I give my Nancy Druin story really quick?
Absolutely.
Okay, so a couple of years ago, we lost one of our amazing people to Mrs. Sferranato, and Kyle Sabota went down to the elementary school, and he's doing wonderful things at Cullen. But when he left, we had to take on a new role of what are we going to do to replace him and replace Laura Parrington and that elective piece. And that's where this whole Nancy Druin speech and communications thing came to life. And like Mr. Z said, it takes special people to do special things, and she is a special person. If you've ever met Nancy Druin, I mean, she walks around with a microphone, and it is a show 100% of the time in that classroom. You think that you're watching TV, and you're really just watching Miss Druin put on a live performance. But what she's doing in there is she is building the confidence of the kids, giving them the speech and the listening tools. So they are learning to speak, they are learning to intentionally, actively listen, they are learning to read, they are learning to write, they're learning to do all of these things in a class that they're just having fun in. So much so that I had somebody call me right before spring break, gosh, it's only January, winter break, from outside the district, administrator in Whittier? Walnut, Whittier, somewhere, so worth a W. And she said, okay, I'm sorry, this is a very random question, but I was at Frisella's the other night, and I was having dinner, and there was a group of what had to be middle schoolers, because the boys were shorter than the girls, and they were just yapping about this class, and they were talking, it was a Friday night, they were rambling on about the speech and communications class, and talking about all this, so much so, talking about Nancy Druin and her class and what they're learning, that she had to pull the mom aside and be like, tell me more about this. So it reverted her to Goddard. I've connected her with Nancy, and she's learning all about this class and hoping to eventually implement it maybe at her school. But those are the little intentional pieces that you might not see them right now, but they're going to pay off. They're paying off for us later. So, sorry.
That's great. That's awesome. So proud of you guys and what you're doing, and keep up the passion and the energy. Good job.
Thank you again. Thank you, staff, for being here. Dr. Naharro, you have to be pretty proud of that stuff, right? Those scores, remember? You did it, you know, we're gonna keep going on. Yeah, very good, very good. Okay, our next item is presented by our high school principal, Dr. Amber Green, and her staff, and it is about the Glendora High School Handbook / course catalog. Is there any staff you want to introduce tonight?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Board President Clifford. Joining me this evening is our Assistant Principal of Curriculum Instruction, Mr. Brian Alarighi, who is going to walk you through some of the course catalog revisions we have for the 26-27 school year. Before I pass over the microphone to him, though, I wanted to just give a little bit of background and explanation about the process of what the revisions look like. So during the fall, our staff engaged in a comprehensive review and revision of the course catalog. This process typically begins with department chairs collaborating with their department members to review course descriptions and consider any potential updates to our offerings. The leadership team then reviews these recommendations and forwards a draft of the catalog to the Educational Services Department, thank you, Dr. Naharro, for feedback and for guidance. Following that review, the catalog is then presented to you for your final consideration. So Glendora High School is recognized for its robust and rigorous academic offerings, and this coming school year is going to be no different. We're grateful for the district's ongoing support of our efforts to provide a diverse and innovative course selection. The additions, deletions, and changes that are outlined tonight are very minor in nature and do not require any changes to board policy. But without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Alarighi up to review those with you.
All right, good evening. First, the additions, of which we have 3. So the first addition to our course catalog is Mariachi 2. This is going to be for students who have finished Mariachi 1 and are now ready to move on to the intermediate and advanced music. This course, students will be able to gain a deeper understanding of mariachi music and explore advancing music in smaller ensembles. So we're happy to be adding that. The next two courses, Food Science, Dietetics, Nutrition 1 and 2, is a new CTE pathway that we are bringing into the school. This represents our concentrator and capstone course. Both of these are A through G approved courses, and they are in the hospitality, tourism, and recreation pathway. So that is new for our campus. Our deletions, we just found that we have far too many good offerings. Unfortunately, a few of them have to come off the books as we add new things. The first of which is the Culinary Arts, Beginning and Advanced Culinary Arts. These are the courses that are being replaced by the CTE courses, Food Science, Dietetics, and Nutrition 1 and 2. The next course that is going to be deleted from the course catalog is Ethnic Studies. That is not a course that is currently being offered in our master schedule this year or in next year's. So for now, we are removing it from the course catalog. The next four courses all have the commonality of they have decreased student interest and therefore are going to be removed from the catalog. That is Exploring Computer Science, Robotics, Video Production, and Advanced Video Production. And then finally, our last course that's being removed is MRWC, the Math Reasoning with Connections. The reason for this course being removed is that we have additional course offerings such as the pre-calculus and AP pre-calculus courses that meet that same college preparatory math offering. And then finally, we have one course change. Our MSS course, which is our Math Strategies for Success, is going to be transitioning to Integrated 1A and Integrated 1B. It'll be moving from a one-year course to a two-year course. This is still an intervention course for students. However, this option allows for these courses to be A through G approved, which MSS was not. So that is actually an improvement for students. And it is strongly believed by the math department that this intervention method to move the students through the Integrated 1 foundational skills over 2 years will actually help them as they move into the Integrated 2 and the Integrated 3. And it will keep them on track to meet their graduation requirements. And that is all of our changes for this year.
Any questions?
Thank you very much for the presentation. We'll bring it back to the board. Any questions from any board member?
No questions, just I'm excited for both Mariachi 2 and the new CTE pathway. That is extremely exciting, and I hope that we can get the word out to our students in our community so that they know that we have these new offerings and how, you know, hopefully kids get excited for it. And I love what you guys did there with the intervention class. I think that'll help us meet our A through G numbers, because that's something that was a area for improvement. Sure. So that was brilliant there. So thank you.
Welcome. Thank you. Any other questions? All right. Thank you
No
very
other
much.
questions? Thank you. That's just a receive and file, correct? Thank you very much for hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate it.
We should have put them first.
They could have got home already.
Okay, our next item is it's a discussion item. It's item 6.1, which is an approval of a student disciplinary action, a stipulated expulsion agreement pursuant to Education Code 48900 subsection B, 48900 subsection F, and 48918 subsection J, student case number 26-7126. Dr. DeGrazia.
Thank you so much, Mr. Clifford. Members of the board, we bring this to you as a requirement to vote on any student expulsion must be voted on in open session. The discussion certainly will take place in closed session, but the vote itself is held in open. Thank you.
Okay, it's recommended the Board of Education approve this stipulated expulsion agreement. Can I have a motion? A motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? That being said, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? It passes 5-0. That brings us down to the consent items. Now, tonight, the consent items are 8.1 through 11.2. It's just shy of $20 million worth of expenditures, some of which are the pool, as you heard earlier, and moving forward with that. So may I have a motion for approval? There's a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, any discussion on the consent? All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there any opposition? All right, the consent items are passed. That brings us all the way down, I believe, to item 12.1, which is adjournment. It is officially 7:42, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you. That's okay, I got all the notes.